Hello everybody, welcome to Nana's Journey. I'm Deanna, and today we are going to continue with Fat Quarter Shop's charity quilt along, Moonbeams. This is their block 5, it's the Tree of Life, and we are going to make 2 of these blocks. Fat Quarter Shop puts out a free pattern for each of these blocks each month on the first Friday. Okay, I've got everything pre-cut. I've got 4 5-inch squares. I've got 10 2.5-inch squares. And I have 4 2 by 14 inch and 4 2 by 12.5-inch strips. I'm going to be using her triangles on a roll until right there. They're 2-inch, and that is the symbol for the cutting directions for that one. So you will follow the triangle paper cutting directions and not the directions on the paper. And so you will need 22 squares. Okay, so I had those all ready to go, and I have got 2 4.5-inch squares cut out. And for the green, I have got 2 6.5-inch squares and 2 4.5-inch squares, and 4 2-inch squares for the cornerstones. So let's get to the sewing machine. Okay, the first thing they want you to do is to take your 2 by 14-inch unit and add your cornerstones. These are the white ones, and you want to make sure that they are right sides together. The tone on tone can be hard, so you want to make sure you have the correct sides together. And then you just sew them. They will end up 2 by 15.5, and you want to make 4. Okay, now we'll do the triangles on a roll. What you're going to do is just pin it, and you're going to sew along the dotted lines. You're going to follow the arrows. It doesn't really matter which direction you go. Just sew on the dotted lines, and then the solid lines are for cutting. So let's get that sewn. Okay, to trim these, we are going to trim on the solid lines. Just line up the ruler and cut. Okay, once I trim this direction, we will have 2 half-square triangles. Then we just need to tear off the paper, press it open, and trim off the dog ears. Okay, this is how they are going to get laid out. We've got all the triangles the same direction. We've got the plain block in the top left corner. And now we just need to sew these into a row and sew the rows into blocks. Okay, you want to make 4 of the units that we just made and 2 of these, and this is the layout. We're going to have the blues going down the middle, and the whites are going to be pointing towards the center, and the whites on this side are going to be pointing towards the center. So now we just need to sew these into rows and the rows into units. Okay, I've already got my units folded in half. You could also draw a line from corner to corner. I've got my 2 5-inch blue squares and my 2 4.5-inch squares. And I'm going to put them on my 6.5-inch square. I'm going to stick that in the corner, and I'm going to sew along the fold. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, I've pressed those open, and then you trim off the back end. And now I'm going to put the other 2 on the same way I did the blue ones, but in the opposite corners. Okay, now I press that open, trim it, and you need to make 2 of these. Okay, now we're ready to put our block together. The unit with the 3 blues going diagonal go in the corner, and the other 2 corners have the whites pointing towards the middle and the blues on the outside. Okay, we're almost done with our block. We just need to put the sashing on the outside. Okay, I've got my 2 by 12.5 inch strips pinned to the side of the unit, and now I will just sew it on. Okay, now I'm going to put on the sashings with the cornerstones, and you want to make sure the white cornerstone, one is at the base of the tree and one is at the tip of the tree. Okay, now our block is finished. I think that is the last block we have to do, and then next time we will be putting the quilt top together. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on Nana's Journey.